What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a bit of an unboxing, but first of all I just want to say thank you for all the support on the channel. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in 2024 and will continue to over the next few days before we hit 2025. It's going to be a big year, but I want to say Happy New Year to all of you, Merry Christmas, and hopefully you have all had a great time over the holidays or continue to do so. But without further ado, let's jump into the unboxing. So this is something that I've wanted for a very long time, and I couldn't really justify the cost of some of them, and I decided that Black Friday came around and I was like, right, I've got to get this sort of thing. We agreed that, you know, it'd be a Christmas present, and I now have it. So, very excited, to be honest. This is the box that it came in. I don't know whether you guys might be able to tell what it is, but there is a little bit of a hint here with the tripod, but it isn't anything to do with the actual tripod itself. It's to do with the head that goes on it. So we're going to unbox this now. This is what it is. It's a gimbal head. This is a little instruction manual which came with the thing. Obviously the instruction manual was in the piece of foam which came out. And then we've actually got the gimbal head itself. Now this is by a company called Andoer, or Andoer. And honestly, packaging wise, wow, I can barely get my hand in there to get it out. Wow. Right, so obviously you can see that that's the brand here, Andoer. And this is the actual gimbal head, or the main part of the gimbal head. This is quite weighty. I'll put a weight on the screen for you guys, but it's actually quite weighty itself. But that's not always a bad thing. It definitely feels like a quality material and stuff. It's quite heavy. Trying to get this other section out of here. Right, so this is the actual bit where your Arca Swiss mount goes and everything like that. And you've got a little spirit level and a little adjuster here. So let's throw the box away over there. And basically you have the gimbal, and then you've got this piece. So what you need to do is to line this up. As you can see there, it's got like teeth or grooves on each side. And if you look at this, it also has the grooves here. So you basically just need to line it up. Now obviously at the moment I don't have it loose enough, so you use this little thing to loosen it up a bit. Let's see, is that enough? And then basically it just slides on like so. So as you can see, it's now on there, and you can slide it all the way down. Or what you can do with this is, obviously as you can see, this actually slides up and down, and what you can do is lock it in place at whatever height you need. So there is more adjustability to it. If you've got a much bigger lens, or you've got a much bigger camera or whatever, you can obviously lock it in place wherever you want to. And obviously the weight of the camera will be supported by this bolt, so hopefully it's not going to be too heavy for it. But that's something to come to when we start putting big lenses on things and obviously trying it out as a gimbal head. It needs to be able to support that weight, so hopefully it will. So obviously what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this one go down all the way to the bottom. So you've now got it like that. Really nice. Again, like I said, it feels very quality. This here is for turning it once it's on the actual thing. So as you can see here, if I just turn that, the whole thing moves. And then this here allows you to basically swing this section. Obviously, depending on how steep or how tight it is, depends on whether or not you can move it at all, or whether you can move it just a little bit. And that obviously will depend on the weight of the camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the tripod, and we're going to get this mounted to it. Pulling the microphone out of the way a little bit so you can still hear me. Pull the tripod legs out, which I already set up because I thought it would be easier if it was already set up that way. So now we've got the tripod head. This is the normal ball head that comes with this K&F concept tripod. And what we're going to do is just what are we going to do? Undo that so that comes up, and then we're just going to twist and that comes off. It does take some force to get the ball head off the tripod because of the way it's set up, but in all honesty it doesn't really matter too much. And again, what we're going to do is we're now going to grab hold of this, and as you can see, because this is a very compact tripod in comparison to some of the other ones that are available, it's a very compact travel lightweight tripod. Like, it's a really good tripod for that, but I will be doing a review on it because it is something that I use quite a bit. But as you can see now, the tripod, if I move around, that whole thing here is moving, and as you can see, it's fairly stable, to be completely honest. It's not, it's more the tripod here, what you can see here, this pole that goes through the middle, that's moving, than the actual gimbal head itself. What we're going to do is we're going to undo this bit, let that down a bit so that we can see it a bit more in the camera. I'm actually going to pull the camera up at the tad as well. Then, as you can see, I've got my lens with my trusty mount on there, which is an Erka Swiss plate, but it also has this hook which I use for the shoulder strap that I normally use to carry it. So again, if you've seen any of my videos, this is the shoulder strap, and this will just clip onto that thing at the back of the lens. Now, with this tripod mount, or with this gimbal head, being an Erka Swiss, what that means is that I can use that mount that is here, take that off, and obviously this is a much bigger plate which would be better. However, because it doesn't have that hook for the Erka Swiss plate on it like this one does, this one is more than likely the one I'll use out in the field, because I will be going from being on the tripod to being on the you know, having things handheld and everything like that. So as you can see now, just let me tighten this up because I've messed it up a bit. It's not quite 100% there, but now you can see on here I've got this tightened up as much as I can. If I open this lens fully, it hasn't moved at all. If I move it, you can see that the weight of the lens is what's pulling it down. So if I tighten that up a little bit though, as you can see now, the weight of the lens, I can just move and it'll come down a little bit. But if I tighten it up a little bit more, I can still move it up and down, but it actually sticks in the position you want it to be in. So that is where this comes in, and it makes it really, really good, because what you can do is you can move this whole thing about, even at 600mm, without any problems whatsoever. And what it also means is if I want to, you know, take my R7 and mount it to the back of the camera, or mount it to the lens, what I can do then is, if I'm out and about in the field, I can literally just be like this. Which means that when I'm doing video, and when I'm doing anything else like that, if I'm doing video or anything else, it's going to be miles and miles smoother than me trying to hold this big rig, you know, on the handheld, because trying to hold something that's such a big lens handheld for such a long time, especially if you're like doing videos and you're sort of panning, you do end up shaking a bit just because of the weight of it and everything like that. So having something like this where, as you can see how smooth the panning motion is, that's just brilliant. That's just great that is how smooth it is. It means that tracking birds and everything like that in video means that there's not going to be any jerkiness in the camera. It's just going to be nice and smooth. So for video going forward, it's going to be a big improvement, hopefully. So that's one of the reasons I got it. One of the other reasons I got it is I am actually getting a ground pod. I bought it off Etsy. And basically a ground pod, obviously, if you guys don't know, is like a tray that has like a tripod mount on it, but it allows you to get right down on the floor. Or if you're in a hide or whatever, you've got a nice flat platform for your camera and rig and everything to sit on, and you're not holding it kind of against. You know, when I'm in the hides normally, I have my hand like right on the window ledge, and as I'm sort of moving around, I'm getting like ridges and lines in my hand, because that's the kind of thing that obviously, if I'm went with all the weight on it, that's what happens. You just end up being in a bit of an uncomfortable position. So I'm hoping with the gimbal head and with the tripod and with the ground pod, we're going to be able to get some really great video footage going forward. And also, what it will enable me to do is to take better shots, not as many blurry shots from me moving around at lower shutter speeds and stuff like that. And what that means is, in general, the photography and the video and everything that I'm doing will go up to the next level. So honestly, I'm really impressed with how smooth this is, with how easy it was to set up. I've got no issues, no qualms. It seems like a very good quality product. First impressions always a bit hit and miss, because it is the first impressions, but we will be revisiting this at a later date with a full-on in-depth review on the actual gimbal head and how I actually find it to use, because to me, the proper usage out in the field is what really matters. In here, just moving it about, is it going to be a problem? Probably not. You're probably not going to run into the issues that you would out in the field, which is it good for what I'm doing? Is it the right tool for the job? Is it holding me back? You know, there's a lot of things to take into account with that. So, honestly, again, like I said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video and this first look into this Andoer gimbal head for tripods. And if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this or want to see me try other products, please let me know in the comments down below on what kind of things you want me to try. Because honestly, I just want to improve my photography and get better at this whole thing and share with you guys my experience. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.